think we have to come to the conclusion that we do not at this time know the reality of the Lin Piao plot. We don't even know why he decided on this adventurous course, or if he indeed actually did decide upon it. We may never get the answers to this, or we may never get answers which satisfy us.
On September the 13th, 1971, the Trident 256 carrying Lin Biao crashed in Mongolia. He was killed along with 8 other passengers. It was just 2 months after Kissinger had secretly visited Beijing and half a year before Nixon's epical visit to China.
The possibility of a connection between the Lin Biao affair and the visit of Nixon to China had occurred to both Nixon and Kissinger, but each had been too tactful to mention it. However, in February 1972, when Nixon actually arrived in Beijing and met with Mao, he was explaining to Mao some of the problems he had had with his political opponents. Mao broke in sagely and said, well, he'd had his problems as well also. In fact, there had been a group so much opposed to the rapprochement between China and the United States that in the end they had taken flight, had flown away from Beijing, and had crashed in Mongolia, and all of them had been killed. That, of course, was Lin Biao.
After Lin Biao's death, the Gang of Four was on the rise, with Jiang Qing as the central figure. When important foreign guests came to China, Jiang Qing took center stage at receptions and behaved like a first lady. The name Gang of Four derives from something Mao said to Jiang Qing. Don't form a gang of 4. Don't form factions. But Mao, who had been Jiang Qing's great patron, was over 80 years old now and seemed to be waning in strength. He was becoming less capable of exercising sound judgment. And Zhou Enlai, who had exerted immense energy in sorting out the disarrayed state of the nation, was seriously ill with cancer. In 1975, Zhou made a speech proposing the 4 modernizations: modernization of agriculture, industry, national defense, and technology. This proved to be his last speech. Deng Xiaoping, who had been a friend of Zhou's for more than 50 years, made a farewell address at Zhou's memorial service. Zhou Enlai died at the age of 78. Over 1 million people came to mourn Zhou. This reflected the degree of esteem with which he was regarded by the people.
In his long career, Zhou Enlai moved from having been originally a rival of Mao Zedong to his most loyal supporter. He was that fine diplomat, that winning personality, and yet behind him, of course, there was always the cold steel of Mao. It's hard to say, in the end, whether Mao could possibly have ruled without Zhou. Certainly he could not have gone through the madness of the Cultural Revolution without Zhou to mind the store. He was the man who stayed at home and stayed up all night long, night after night after night, holding the pieces together so China would not fly apart into some kind of total chaos and disorder. Of the great figures of the era of Mao, the early part of the People's Republic, no one has a position equal to that of Zhou. There may be minor criticisms, but they disappear in the totality of his contribution. It's interesting to see that when Mao was finally succeeded by Deng Xiaoping, there was no person like Zhou Enlai in Deng's entourage. It was all Deng. But as far as Mao was concerned, he could not have existed without Zhou Enlai.
With the approach of Qingming-Jie, the festival commemorating ancestors, the martyrs' column at Tiananmen Square was surrounded by wreaths laid in Zhou Enlai's memory. Jiang Qing regarded it as a deliberately planned anti-revolutionary uprising and ordered her subordinates to remove the flowers and arrest those behind the movement.
This was an unprecedented movement in the history of the People's Republic, a people's movement. And persuasion and appeals had no effect on the group which gathered. Very soon, it assumed an anti-Mao and an anti-Chongqing aspect. Qingming frightened the Gang of Four, frightened Chongqing, frightened the whole establishment, possibly even Mao, and they soon moved to reestablish their authority. And the target was Deng Xiaoping. Deng Xiaoping, the number 2 to Mao, was removed from office, stripped of all his powers and pretenses, and sent into exile, possibly to face an even greater punishment than that.
Longines time is now 2 minutes to 8.
Sharp's world first 6-head hi-fi multi-VCR. With titanium-coated drum, fully automatic head cleaning system and shuttle remote control. 6-head hi-fi multi-VCR, the first and only one in the world by Sharp.
Feeling under the weather? Shopping in the rain? Step into the sunshine in City Plaza.
City Plaza.
Sensational City Plaza shopping.